For the longest time, one of the easiest ways to compare battery life in smartphones has been by looking at battery capacity. Bigger number equals better battery life. At least that's what most people assume. But the more I've followed smartphones over the years, the more I've realized that battery capacity is probably one of the most misunderstood specs on a phone. Because while it definitely matters, it doesn't really tell you the whole story. And the iPhone 18 Pro Max might end up being the perfect example of that. According to Ice Universe, the iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to feature a 5,567 mAh battery on the eSIM model and a slightly smaller 5,391 mAh cell on the version with a physical SIM tray. Now, compared to what some Android manufacturers are doing right now, those numbers honestly look pretty average. We've already got phones like the OnePlus 15 packing a 7,300 mAh battery, and some brands are even pushing toward the 10,000 mAh mark. So at first glance, you'd probably expect those phones to completely dominate the iPhone in battery life. However, that's not completely accurate. Ice Universe believes the iPhone 18 Pro Max could actually last just as long as Android phones with batteries around the 7,000 mAh mark, and that's not an unrealistic claim. For example, the iPhone 17 Pro Max managed to outlast several Android flagships despite having a significantly smaller battery. One example was the Vivo X100 Pro, which packs a much larger 6,510 mAh battery compared to 4,823 of the iPhone, but still fell short in endurance. And this isn't even just an Android versus Apple thing. You see it within Android itself. Some phones with 6,800 mAh batteries outperform phones with 7,400 mAh batteries simply because they have a more efficient processor, better software optimization, or smarter power management. That's why I've never been a huge fan of judging battery life purely by capacity. Battery size tells you how much energy a phone can store. It doesn't tell you how efficiently that energy is being used, and that's where Apple has traditionally done a really good job. According to current rumors, the new A20 Pro chip could be around 30% more power efficient than its predecessor. iOS 27 is also expected to bring additional optimizations, and Apple is reportedly introducing a redesigned thermal system as well. Stack them together, and it's easy to see how Apple could make up a lot of the gap between a 5,500 mAh battery and the much larger batteries we're seeing on Android phones today. Now, naturally, that raises another question. If Apple can get so much out of a relatively small battery, why doesn't it just use the same giant batteries everyone else is moving to? I know there's plenty of reasons why Apple and other major brands like Samsung and Google are still holding back from adopting the silicon carbon tech that enables these Chinese manufacturers to stack huge capacities. But just imagine the level of endurance we could have when Apple eventually combines that level of optimization with, say, a 7,000 mAh silicon carbon battery. Of course, for now, these are still leaks and speculations, and real-world battery life is something we'll only know once the phone is officially announced and properly tested. Apple is expected to unveil the device alongside its first foldable phone later in the year, and I'm keeping a close eye on their development. As always, I'll keep you updated as soon as new information becomes available, so stay tuned. Thanks you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.